श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जाय। नित्यल्लभ विष्णु विष्णुपार अशतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोस्वामी महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जय। नित्यल्लभ विष्णु विष्णुपार अशतर शत शिशिमार पवन गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्यल्लभ विष्णु विष्णुपार अशतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य विष्णु विष्णुपाद शतर शत स्मर भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। नित्य विष्णु विष्णुपाद शतर शत स्मर भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्य विष्णु महाभागवत श्लोकोक्षर बाबूजी महाराज की जय। नित्य विश्व शिल सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्य प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानुगौरिय गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर प्रसाद वृंद की जय। नाम जय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंद श्याम कुंद की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्री विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्रीश्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नारायणेति नामिने। नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकायै तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तरभक्ताय नमो नमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेतमपेतकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुस्तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। शृण्वतं स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनम् हृदन्तस्तो ह्यभद्राणि विधुनोति सुहृत्सतम्। नष्टप्रायेष्ववद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी। तवैवास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय राधे त्वां नायमां चरणान्तिकम्। भक्त्या विहीना अपराधलक्षाय क्षिप्ताष्टकामादितरङ्गमध्ये Kripa Tvam Sharanam Prapana Vrinde Namaste Charana Ravindam. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, everybody. Gargaraj ji, Indira Mataji, Bhavatarani Mataji, Prajumna Prabhu, Rukmini Didi, Ganga Mataji, Raseshwari Mataji. Oh, Prajumna Prabhu, you can tell your mother I'm doing quite well now that I'm back in Navadip. And yeah. And Prajumna Prabhu, is Neela Shakti Radharani? No. Radharani is, I mean, Neela Shakti is coming from Radharani, but all Shakti is coming from Radharani. Radharani is the mool. She's the origin of all Shaktis. All right. So as you can tell, I'm not sharing my screen. That's because I went to sleep at 2 o'clock in the morning, past 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm still behind on everything. I don't want to show my face right now. I haven't taken bath yet. So I'm going to just jump right into this without a recap since I started late. So let's just see. Yeah. Tomorrow I will do a recap of the previous chapters we read. The Brahman Sudama, chapter 80. The Brahman Sudama visits Lord Krishna in Dwarka. Shivajovacha Bhagavanyani Chanyani Mukundasya Mahatmana Viryanyananta Viryasya Shrotumichhami Te Prabho. King Parikshit said, My lord, O master, I wish to hear about other valorous deeds performed by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mukunda, whose valor is unlimited. Sārārtha-darśiṇī commentary by Śrīla Viśvanātha Cakravartī Ṭhākura. In this chapter, Sudama comes to Dwarka and is worshipped by Krishna. After questioning him lovingly, Krishna reminisces about their life together in Gurukul. Parikshit Maharaj said, O master, I want to hear other exploits of Mukunda. Konu Shrutva Sakrit Brahman Uttama Shloka Sat Katha Virameta Visheshagyo Vishanna Kamamarganai. O Brahman, how could anyone who knows the essence of life and is disgusted with endeavoring for sense gratification give up the transcendental topics of Lord Uttama Shloka after hearing them repeatedly? Commentary. We see many persons who, even after hearing the topics of Krishna repeatedly, nevertheless cease from hearing. The Gyanis, fixed on the impersonal Brahman, are an example of those who give up those topics. But one who has realized that the essence of life is to constantly relish Krishna's transcendental form, qualities, and pastimes never gives up those topics. One who experiences the taste of hearing about Krishna's fascinating pastimes automatically becomes disgusted with the inferior taste of material pleasure. Hearing anything other than topics of Krishna is useless. Avagyaya tasya gunan grinite karo chatat karma karo manascha smared vasantam stira jangameshu shnenoti tat punya katha sakarna. Actual speech is that which describes the qualities of the Lord. Real hands are those that work for him. A true mind is that which always remembers him dwelling within everything, moving and non moving. And actual ears are those that listen to sanctifying topics in him. Wow, what a beautiful verse. Commentary. Parikshit Maharaj said, not only the ears, but all organs of the body become useless without a connection with Krishna. In the second canto, third chapter, verse 20, Shaunaka Rishi made a similar statement. Jivasati dar turikeva sutta. The tongues of those who fail to sing of the Lord are as useless as those of frogs. The senses should work together in Krishna consciousness. In other words, whatever the eyes or the ears experience, the mind should simply remember Krishna, who is within all things. Shiras tutasyo bhayalingamana anatame anamit tadeva yat pashyati tadhichakshu angani vishnu ratataj jananam padodakam yani bhajanti nityam. An actual head is one that bows down to the Lord and his manifestations among the moving and non-moving creatures. Real eyes are those that see only the Lord, and actual are those which regularly honor the water that has bathed the Lord's feet, are those of his devotees. The commentary. The eyes which see, both the deity form of Vishnu and his devotees, the head which bows to those two forms, and the limbs which receive the foot water of Vishnu and his devotees, are fortunate. The word angani, limbs, refers to those limbs which are above the navel, since pouring chanamrita on one's body lower than the navel is offensive. But that's interesting. It's not just the head. It's not, no, we should completely bathe our whole upper half of the body in the foot water of the Lord and his devotees. It's really interesting. Sutta Uvacha. Vishnuratena samprish Bhagavan Badarayana Vasudeve Bhagavati Nimagna Hridayo Bravit. Sutta Goswami said, thus questioned by King Viśvanātha, the powerful sage Badarayani replied, his heart fully absorbed in meditation on the Supreme Personality of Vasudeva. Comments once again. Haribo Madhavi Didi. Dandavat Pranams. Shri Shuka Uvacha Krishna Syasit Saka Kaschid Brahmano Brahmavittama Virakta Indriyartheshu Prashantatma Jitendriya. Shukadev Goswami said, Lord Krishna had a certain Brahmin friend named Sudama, who was most learned in Vedic knowledge and detached from all sense enjoyment. Furthermore, his mind was peaceful and his senses subdued. Yadrichayopapannena vartamano grihashrami tasya bharya kuchailasya shrutkshama tatavida. Living as a householder, he maintained himself with whatever came of its own accord. The wife of that poorly dressed Brahmin suffered along with him and was emaciated from hunger. Commentary. Sudama's wife exhibited the same qualities such as tolerating hunger. The word cha implies that she was even more tolerant than Sudama, because whatever she received as food, she served to him, remaining hungry herself. Pativrata patim praha layata vadane sa daridram siddhamana vai vepamana bhigamyacha. The chaste wife of the poverty-stricken Brahman once approached him. Her face dried up because of her distress. Trembling with fear, She spoke as follows. Commentary. She was distressed because she could not obtain any food for her husband. Out of fear of her husband, she was also trembling because she knew he did not want to beg the Lord for anything other than devotion. Nanu Brahman Bhagavata Sakasakshat Shriyapati Brahmanyascha Sharanyascha Bhagavan Sattvatarshava. Sudama's wife said, O Brahman, isn't it true that the husband of the goddess of fortune is the personal friend of your exalted self? That greatest of Yadavas, the supreme Lord, is compassionate to Brahmanas and very willing to grant them his shelter. Commentary. From her statements quoted here, one can see that Sudama's wife anticipated every possible objection her husband might make to her request that he go to Krishna to beg charity. If Sudama might say, "How could the husband of fortune befriend a fallen soul like myself?" His wife replies by saying, "Shri Krishna is Brahmanya, very favorably disposed toward the Brahmanas." Sudama, but I don't have the qualities of such a Brahmana. Wife, Krishna gives shelter to anyone who's to him. Sudama, since I have no devotion, I do not even have the quality of surrender. Wife, Krishna is the omniscient Bhagavan. Therefore, he will take note of your unhappiness and be merciful to you. Sudama, Krishna is equally disposed to all the countless unhappy conditioned souls suffering the fruits of their own karma. So why should he give wealth to me? Wife, Krishna is the master of the devotees. He may not give, but the devotees who serve him by fanning and other actions, those devotees will mercifully give you some charity. Since Krishna maintains the yadus, what birth fault is it for him to maintain you? Tam upaihi mahabhaga sadhunam cha parayanam tasyati dravinam bhuri siddhate te kutumbine. O fortunate one, please approach him, the real shelter of all saints. He will certainly give abundant wealth to such a suffering householder as you. Commentary. Sudama's wife continued, You may not consider yourself a sadhu, but you are definitely in the wretched condition. Seeing that you are struggling to support your family and worthy of charity, Krishna will surely give generously. The word cha following sadhunam implies that Krishna is also the final shelter of those. Aste duna dvarai vatyam bhoja vrishnan dhakeshvara smarata pada kamalam atmanam apiyachati kim varta kamam bhajato natyabhishtan jagar guru. Lord Krishna is now the ruler of the Bhojas, Vrishnis, and is staying at Dwarka. Since he gives even his own self to anyone who simply remembers his lotus feet, what doubt is there that he, the spiritual master of the universe, will bestow upon his sincere worshipper prosperity and material enjoyment, which are desirable? Commentary. Sudama said, But Krishna may be in Indraprastha, Dwarka, or some other place killing the demons. His wife replied, Krishna has now put aside his weapons and does not leave his capital of Dwarka. Since Krishna is the ruler of the Vrishnis and Andakas, if these opulent rulers merely acknowledge you as a personal friend of Krishna's, they will give you everything you need. Sudama, but I am embarrassed to ask anything from Krishna. Wife, Krishna gives himself unto any person who just remembers him without asking for anything. The genitive case smarata stands for the dative case smarate, unto the person who remembers. What to speak of Krishna giving material wealth and sense gratification to his devotee, which are not very much desirable for him to give? Because in the long run, they are tasteless. Moreover, Krishna is the benefactor of the universe. and thus he gives to those who entreat him, even what they have not specifically begged for. Therefore, if you go to Dwarka and just remain silent, Krishna will give you the abundant wealth you desire. Since he is your true benefactor, he will also give you the sweetness of his lotus feet. Evang bharyaya vipro bahusha prarthito muhu ayang hi paramo labha uttama shloka darshanam iti sanchintya manasa gamanaya matim dadhe apastyu apyastyupayanam kinchit grihe kalyani diyatam. Shukadev Goswami continued. When his wife thus repeatedly implored him in various ways, the Brahmana thought to himself, "To see Lord Krishna is indeed the greatest achievement in life." Thus he decided to go. But first he told her, "My good wife, if there is anything in the house I can bring as a gift, please give it to me." Commentary. Due to his humility, Sudama was initially dissatisfied with his wife's constant requests. Finally, he pacified his mind and decided to go by thinking, "I will become very fortunate by seeing my Lord." Commentary for text 13. Sudama asked, "If there is some gift in the house, please give it." The idea is, how can I go empty handed to my friend's house? Yachitva chaturo mushten vipran pritu katandulan chaila kandena tarbhadva bhartre pradar upayanam. Sudama's wife begged 4 handfuls of flat rice from neighboring brahmanas, tied up the rice in a torn piece of cloth, and gave it to her husband as a present for Lord Krishna. Satanadaya viprargya prayayo dvarakan kila Krishna sandarshanam mahyam katam syad iti chintayan. Taking the flat rice, the saintly Brahman set off for Dwarka, all the while wondering, how will I be able to have Krishna's audience? Commentary. Sudama thought, how will I enter since I'll be stopped by the gatekeepers? Trini gulmanyati yaya tisra kaksha chasa dvija vipro kamyandaka vrishinam sai griheshvachuta dharminam griham dvashta sahasranam mahishinam harer dvija vivishayakatamam Śrīmad Brahmanandam gato yatha. Brahmana, joined by some local Brahmins, passed 3 guard stations and went through 3 gateways, and then he walked by the homes of Lord Krishna's faithful devotees, the Andakas and Vrishnis, which ordinarily no one could do. He then entered one of the opulent palaces belonging to Lord Hari's 16,000 queens, and when he did so, he felt as if he were attaining the bliss of liberation. Commentary. Sudama passed through 3 encampments of soldiers protecting the outer gates, and 3 tall tower houses at the inner gates of the city. Accompanied by local Brahmanas, Sudama passed near the houses of the unconquerable Vrishnis and Andakas. He entered the main palace along the palaces of Krishna's 16,000 queens. It was the palace of Rukmini, according to the Padma Purana Uttarakhanda. Satu Rukminyantapura Dwari Kshanam Tushnim Stita. He stood silently at the doorway of Queen Rukmini's palace. Sudama momentarily forgot everything because he felt as if he had attained the bliss of liberation. Tam vilokya chuta durat priya paryankamastita sahasothaya chabhyetya Dorbhyam paryagrahin muda. Time, Lord Achyuta was seated on his consort's bed. Seeing the Brahman at some distance, the Lord immediately stood up, went forward to meet him, and with great pleasure embraced him. Commentary. Seeing him, Krishna got up and went forward into the court where he embraced Sudama in great bliss. Sakyo priyasya viprarshir angasangatita prito vyamuncharabhindun netrabhyam pushkarekshana. The lotus-eyed Supreme Lord felt intense ecstasy upon touching the body of his dear friend, the wise Brahmana, and thus he shed tears of love. Ato paveshya paryanke swayam sakyu samarhanam upahritya vanijyasya pado padavane jani agrahitchirasa rajan Bhagavan Lokapavana Vyalimpaddivyagandhena Chandana Guru Kunkumai Dhupai Surabhibhir Pavalibhir Muda Architva Vedotambulam Kauncha Swagatam Pravit. Lord Krishna seated his friend Sudama upon the bed. Then the Lord, who purifies the whole world, personally offered him various tokens of respect and washed his feet, O king, after which he sprinkled the water on his own head. He anointed him with divinely fragrant sandalwood, aguru, and kumkum pastes, and happily worshipped him with aromatic incense and arrays of lamps. After finally offering him betel nut and the gift of a cow, he welcomed him with pleasing words. Commentary. Krishna sprinkles the water that he used to wash Sudama's feet on his head. And you want to see a picture of that? I'll show you. Here, see, there's Krishna washing Sudama's feet. It's not a very high-res photo, though. Here's another picture. All right. Kuchailam malinam kshamam Dvijam dhamani santatam Devi parya charat shakshat Chamara vyajanena vai. By fanning him with her chamar, the divine goddess of fortune personally serves that poor Brahman whose clothing was torn and dirty, so thin that veins were visible all over his body. Commentary. Rukmini personally fans Sudama with a chamar. In another version of the text, the word shakshat is replaced by the word shaibya, which would mean that another queen, Shaibya, fanned Sudama. But this does not agree with the Padma Puran Uttarakanda. Antapura jano drishtva Krishnena malakirtina Vismito bhur ati pritya avadhutam sabhajitam. The people in the royal palace were astonished to see Krishna, the Lord of spotless glory, so lovingly honor this shabbily dressed Brahmana. Commentary. The word Amalakirtina, spotless fame, implies that henceforth Krishna's fame, which personally attends him, would assume the form of the glories of his having delivered Sudama from poverty. Avadutam means whose clothes were unclean. Kemanena kritam punyam avadutena bhikshuna Shriyahinena lokesme karhitena tamena cha Yoso triloka guruna Srinivasena sambhrita Paryankastam shriyam hitva Parishvakto grajo yatha. The residents of the palace said, "What pious acts has this unkempt, impoverished Brahman performed? People regard him as lowly and yet the spiritual master of the three worlds, the abode of goddess Śrī, is serving him reverentially. Leaving the goddess of fortune sitting on her bed, the Lord has embraced this Brahman as if he were an older brother." Commentary. These two verses describe the astonishment of the Dwarkavasis. Sudama was lowly in the sense that he was dressed in shabby cloth. And see the residents of Dwarka here. Oops. See, that's them right there. Okay. Katayam chakratur gatha purva guru kule sato atmanor lalita rajan karo grihya parasparam. Shukadev Goswami continued, "Taking each other's hands, O king, Krishna and Sudama talked pleasantly about how they once lived together in the school of their guru." Commentary. Krishna and Sudama talked about their school days while holding hands with each other. Let's see, does this picture have them holding their hands? No. That one does. Okay. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Api Brahman Gurukular Bhavata Labdva Dakshinat Samavrittena Dharma Bharyodha Sadrishi Nava. The Supreme Lord said, "My dear Brahman, you know well the ways of Dharma. After you offered the gift of remuneration to our Guru and returned home from his school, did you marry a compatible wife or not?" Commentary. Though Sudama was a householder, he did not appear to be enjoying any material pleasure. Therefore, Krishna asked him if he was married or not. Krishna said, "You know well the religious principle that after graduating from school, one should get married in order to prevent the fault of having no ashram. Prayo griheshu te chittam akama vihitam tatha naivati priyase vidvan dhaneshu viditam hime." Even though you are most involved in household affairs, your mind is not affected by material desires. Nor, O learned one, do you take much pleasure in the pursuit of material wealth. This I am well aware of. Commentary. Krishna said, "Even though you are not embarrassment, I know the actual situation." Krishna reveals this in this verse. Sudama, though you are a householder, your heart is not disturbed by lust. O wise one, I know that because you understand the temporary nature of material enjoyment, you have little attraction for wealth, clothing, and other things. Therefore, these material things have not to you. The two words prayo, for the most part, and ati, very much, imply that for the sake of your wife, you are displaying a favorable disposition toward material wealth. This indicates that Krishna will give these things later. Krishna said, "Just see, though this man is a householder, he is without desires and does not want anything from others. Even if he is given some charity by force, still he will not accept it." At this time, Krishna thought, "To broadcast Sudama's fame in Dwarka, I will not reveal his desire to anyone, nor outwardly give any charity to him here." Kechit kurvanti karmani kamar ahata chetasa tyajanta prakritir daivir yataham lokasangraham. Having renounced all material propensities which spring from the Lord's illusory energy, some people execute worldly duties with their minds undisturbed by mundane desires. They act as I do to instruct the general populace. Commentary. Krishna said, "I know very well that you did not take sannyas like others, even though you are renounced. Those who are detached engage in work, even though their minds are not attracted by material desires. By working in this way, they give up the perverted propensity of the mind to create desires for material enjoyment. As a householder, I act according to the scriptural injunctions in order to teach the people in general. Kachir gurukule vasam ramam smarasino yatha dvijo vigyaya vigyayam tamasa paramashnute. My dear Brahmana, do you remember how we lived together in our spiritual master's school? When a twice-born student has learned from his guru all that is to be learned, he can enjoy spiritual life, which lies beyond all ignorance. Commentary. In his mind, Sudama doubted. Because Krishna worships me in this way, though I am so lowly, does he actually recognize who I am or not? To dispel this doubt, Krishna reminds Sudama of their school days together in 12 verses, verses 31 to 43. Krishna said, "Do you remember our living at the Gurukul? By knowing the true nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a Brahman can transcend material existence." Oh, really? Haribol Sudevi Didi. Bhavatarani Mataji says that she has a song about this pastime, right? And a different version with Nri Hari Prabhu. That's great. I'll check it out at the end. Savai Satkarmanam Shakshar Tvijater Iha Sambhava Adyonga Yatrashraming. Sorry, let me try that again. Adyonga Yatrashramam Ashraminam Adyonga Yatrashraminam Yataham Jnana Guru. Sorry about that. My dear friends, he who gives a person his physical birth is his first spiritual master, and he who initiates him as a twice-born Brahman and engages him in religious duties is indeed more directly his spiritual master. But the person who bestows transcendental knowledge upon the members of all the spiritual orders of society is one's ultimate spiritual master. Indeed, he is as good as my own self. Wow. It's a really cool verse. Commentary. Krishna said, "In human life, there are three gurus: one's father, the one who gives upanayanam, and the one who teaches about me. Of these, the last is most worshipable. The father, who makes possible our birth in this world, is the first guru. He who gives upanayanam, teaches Gayatri mantra, and engages one in sanctified activities is the second guru. But he who gives knowledge to the people in the four ashrams and who teaches about me is to be worshipped on the same level as me. Nandvarta Kovida Brahman Varnashrama Vatamiha Ye Maya Guruna Vacha Tarantyanjo Bhavarnavam. Certainly, O Brahmana, of all the followers of the Varnashram system, those who take advantage of the words I speak in my form as the spiritual master, and thus easily cross over the ocean of material existence, best understand their own true welfare. Commentary. In this verse, Krishna describes how the third guru delivers his students from the material world. Krishna said, "Certainly, among those following the Varnashram system, they who know the highest truth easily cross the ocean of material existence by hearing from a bona fide guru who teaches about me and initiates them into my mantra. Such a guru is my very form. Nahamidya prajati bhyam tapaso pashamena va Tushyeyam sarvabhutatma guru shushushaya yatha. I, the soul of all beings, am not as satisfied by ritual worship, Brahminical initiation, penances, or self-discipline as I am by faithful service rendered to one's spiritual master. Commentary. Krishna. Therefore, the Guru who teaches about me is most worthy of being faithfully served. Even though I am the soul of all beings, I am not as satisfied by ritual worship, Brahminical initiation, penances, or self-discipline as I am by faithful service rendered to one's spiritual master. Apina smaryate brahman vrittam nivasatam guru guru daraishchoditanam indhanananyane kvachit pravishtanam maharanyam aparto sumahadvija vatavarsham abhut tivram nishtura stanayit nava. O Brahmana, do you remember what happened to us while we were living with our spiritual master? Once our Guru's wife sent us to fetch firewood, and after we entered the vast forest, O twice-born one, an unstorm arose with fierce wind and rain. An unseasonal storm arose with fierce wind and rain and harsh thunder. Commentary. Krishna said, do you remember the incidents that happened while we were living with our Guru? It was winter, and a great storm suddenly arose with wind, rain, and thundering clouds, although it was unseasonal. Suryashcham gatastavat tamasa chavrita disha nimnam kulam jalamayam na pragyayata kinchana. Then, as the sun set, the forest was covered by darkness in every direction, and with all the flooding, we could not distinguish highland from low. Dandavat pranam Sajan Maharaj and Hladini Shakti Didi. Haribo. Vayam Vrisham. Let me see this. Vayam Vrisham Tatra Mahanilam Buddhir Nihanyamana Maharambo Samplave Disho Vidantota Parambane Grihitavhasta Paribhabrimatura. Constantly besieged by the powerful wind and rain, we lost our way amidst the flooding waters. We simply held each other's hands and, in great distress, wandered aimlessly about the forest. Commentary. The verb paribhabrima may be understood to be the prefix pari with either the verb bri or bhram. The word bhram indicates that Krishna and Sudama wandered all about. The prefix bri, which means to carry, indicates that while wandering about, the two boys continued carrying the wood they had collected for their spiritual master. Etar viditva udite ravo sandipanir guru anvishamanuna shishyan acharyo pashyaraturan. Our Guru, Sandipani, understanding our predicament, set out after sunrise to search for us, his disciples, and found us in distress. Aho he putrakayuyam asmararte tidukita atmavai praninam preshtas samanadritya matpara. Sandipani said, O my children, you have suffered so much for my sake. The body is most dear to every living creature, but you are so dedicated to me that you completely discarded your own comfort. Commentary. Sandipani Muni speaks in 3 verses, verses 40 to 42. Etareva hi shachishyai kartavyam guru nishkritam yadvai vishuddha bhavena sartatmarpanam guru. This indeed is the duty of all true disciples, to repay the debt to their spiritual master by offering him with pure hearts their wealth and even their very lives. Commentary. Sandipani Muni said, all disciples should repay the debt to their guru by offering their body, which the basis of the material conception of I, and all their assets, Sārārtha, yeah, which is the basis of the conception of mind. They should offer the body, which is the basis of the material conception of I, and their assets, which is the basis of the conception of mind. Sorry. Tushtoham bodhirishta satya santu manoratha chandang syayata yamani bhavantviha paratracha. You boys are first-class brahmanas, and I am satisfied with you. May all your desires be fulfilled, and may the Vedic mantras you have never lose their meaning for you, in this world or the next. Commentary. Sandipani Muni said, your knowledge of scriptures will remain ever fresh in your minds and never grow old in this life or the next. The Amara Kosh dictionary says, Jirnam cha paribhuktam cha yatayam idam dvayam. Yatayaman means worn out or used up. Etang vidhanyanekani vasatam guru veshmani gurur anugrahena grihinaiva puman purna prashantaye. Lord Krishna continued, we had many similar experiences while living in our spiritual master's home. Simply by the grace of the spiritual master, a person can fulfill life's purpose and attain eternal peace. Nice verse, huh? Simply by the grace of the spiritual master, a person can fulfill life's purpose and attain eternal peace. Commentary. Shri Krishna said, many such incidents happened to us while living in Gurukul. Shri Brahmana Uvacha Kimasmabhir anirvritam deva deva jagar guru bhavata satyakamena yesham vaso guru rabhut. The Brahmana said, what could I possibly have failed to achieve, O Lord of Lords, O universal teacher, since I was able to personally live with you, whose every desire is fulfilled at the home of our spiritual master? I was able to personally live with you, whose every desire is fulfilled at the home of our spiritual master. Commentary. Sudama said, what lack of bliss was there for us? It was completely blissful for us to live in the Gurukul with you, whose every desire becomes fulfilled. Living in the Gurukul was by your wish alone. The difficulties of wind and rain we encountered while fetching wood were due to your own. Those difficulties were due to your own desire, since you wanted to teach devotion to the spiritual master. Other than that, what power do the wind and rain have over you? The Taittiriya Upanishad says, Vishasmar vata pavate. The wind blows out of fear of you. It was my great fortune to have lived there with you. I think this is the last verse of the chapter, right? Yeah, it's 45 verses. Yasya chando mayam brahma deha avapanam vibho shreyasam tasya gurushu vasotyanta vidambanam. O Almighty Lord, your body comprises the absolute truth in the form of the Vedas, and is thus the source of all auspicious goals of life. That you took up residence at the school of a spiritual master is simply one of your pastimes in which you play the role of a human being. Commentary. Sudama said, your body comprises the absolute truth in the form of the Vedas, and it is the source of all auspicious goals. You lived in the Gurukul only to teach this. Thus ends the commentary on the 80th chapter of the 10th canto of the Bhagavatam for the pleasure of the devotees in accordance with the previous acharyas. So tomorrow we will read chapter 81, The Lord Blesses Sudama Brahmana. And also hopefully sometime tomorrow we can read about Madhvacharya. Tomorrow is Madhvacharya's disappearance day. The day after tomorrow is Ramanuja's disappearance day. And then the day after that is Parmi Akadashi. The day after that is Varahadvadashi. The day after that is Nityananda Trayodashi. And then there's one gap. There's Dvadashi. Sorry, there's there's one day after Nityananda Trayodashi, and then right after that is Narottam Das Thakur's appearance day. So 7 days of festivals coming up right now. All right. Oh, I'll do the Jayadvani, and after the Jayadvani, then let's listen to Bhavatarani Mataji's the song that she made for this pastime. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Oh wow! Oh, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Bhavatarani Mataji, is it this song, Offered with Love? You can let me know, and then we'll listen right after I finish Jayadvani now. Jai Shishi Guru Gauranga Gandhar Vikagiri Dhari Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai Nitya Lila Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashta Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj Guru Dev Ki Jai Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashta Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Vaman Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashta Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashta Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashta Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai Nitya Pravishtam Vishnupa Rashta Rashata Shishimar Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitya Pravishta Maha Bhagavat Srila Gaur Kishoras Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai Shri Rupa Anuga Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai Shri Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhattadash Raghunath Shara Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai Nama Chaishla Haridas Ṭhākura Ki Jai प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौर मंडल ब्रज मंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदत्त गिरिराज महाराज की जय श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय श्री भक्ति देवी की जय श्री पूर्णमासी योगमाया की जय श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur, Shri Sudama Vipra ki jai. Shri Krishna Chandra ki jai. Grantaraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsi Devai Priyai Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, everybody. Oh, and Bhavatarani Mataji, you said YouTube is better, but I can't find the video. I need the link. Yeah, I've been searching for a little while and can't find anywhere. Haribo Rukmini Di and Indira Mataji. So I'm just going to play this one because I can't find the other one. But if you find it later on, we can play it tomorrow also, the one on YouTube if it's different. Okay, I'll just play the Bandcamp one. Audio. And anybody, if they want to find this, it's on bhavahari.bandcamp.com. You can see the link up here, bhavahari.bandcamp.com. Okay, just waiting for it to load. And if it's, for some reason, if it's not playing, let me know, because last time I tried playing it on here and it didn't work. So I think it will work now, but just, why is it taking so long to load? Sorry, guys. I don't know what the delay is. Maybe let me try refreshing the page. Huh. Yeah, for some reason it's not playing. Maybe we can play this tomorrow. I can try to, and we can play the YouTube version, because this is not working. Yeah, all right, everybody, because it's not working. But I will send the link to this, and you can, here, I'm just pasting the link here. And Bhavatarani Mataji, if you could give me the link to the YouTube version whenever you have a chance, just that would be great, and then we can all hear this. All right, Dandavat pranams, everybody. And really awesome that you sung this song for Srila Prabhupada directly. Wow, how special. Yeah, really looking forward to hearing it. Yeah, it's not loading. So, all right, Hari Bol, everybody. Dandavat pranams. Also, one thing, when I get the link, I will share it in our WhatsApp group so that you can hear it on your own, and we'll hear it all tomorrow as well. Right, Hari Bol.